Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Doctor Strange. The Marvel Cinematic Universe just got very strange. But is it a good thing or a bad thing to be called strange? Well, according to Dr. Stephen Strange, it's a very good thing. And I have to say, I agree, because I really liked this film. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the positives. First of all, Benedict Cumberbatch makes for an amazing Doctor Strange. I think this was perfect casting. I thought so from the moment the rumors started all the way through to seeing the trailers and now seeing the film. I think he is spot on, perfect casting for the role. I also thought Rachel McAdams played the love interest very well. And most all of our secondary characters were really good too. I thought Mads Mikkelsen had the perfect bone structure for the role he was playing. I think the only two sort of missteps are from our two most prestigious actors, but we'll talk about them in a moment. And outside of the acting, the visual effects are stunning. The world building that takes place here, for lack of a better word, is magical. It just took my breath away. I saw this in IMAX 3D, and I say it is definitely worth it, especially just getting to see the spectacle on a huge IMAX screen, worth that extra ticket price. I would say there are a couple of scenes, especially with the humans themselves and the way they move as an effect, where the CGI itself is a little bit wonky. And then at the end, where Doctor Strange goes into a different kind of realm, it also looks very green screen-esque. But by and large, it all looked fantastic, which was a far cry from the trailers that I saw, which looked like Inception light. I think once you actually watch the film, it really deviates from that Inception correspondence that we were all kind of getting from those trailers. Plus, all of the actual magic and spells being brought to life were realized really, really well. They all looked so cool, and it's gonna add a huge extra dimension to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, even just visually, never mind the actual world building ramifications this is gonna have moving forward. I also think that as an origin story, this was done very well. It moved at a very brisk pace. We started off with a big action set piece, and it just kind of set the tone for a fast-paced origin story. It didn't slog, it didn't bog itself too much down with the actual origins and the beginning of the story, but it gave you enough of that development that you felt satisfied. You didn't feel ripped off. Also, it was so funny. I thought Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange was hilarious. One of the funniest Marvel movies to date, I would say. Plus, there are two post-credit sequences. One mid-credit sequence and then one true post-credit sequence. And both of them actually serve a purpose. One, I think, has a lot of ramifications for what's to come in another Phase 3 Marvel Cinematic Universe film. And the other, I'm not sure where exactly it's going to lead. Maybe Doctor Strange 2, we'll have to wait and see. But also, it moved the story forward. So there were no fluffer, just plain filler post-credit sequences like we've seen in the past. And there are, again, two of them. But moving forward, I want to talk about kind of a middle ground before we jump into the actual negatives of the film. And that's where Chiwetel Ejiofor and Tilda Swinton lie. So Chiwetel himself, I thought he kind of was, it wasn't the best performance I expected from Chiwetel. He's such a great actor that seeing him overacting at some parts and then kind of sleepwalking through other parts, it just didn't mesh, and I don't think necessarily he was the best person for this particular role. As for Tilda Swinton, I had to really concentrate to overcome the whitewashing of this role. It was completely senseless, and the fact that, she was paired up with Chiwetel Ejiofor as the leaders in Nepal was just so distracting. You had them, plus, Doctor Strange himself and Mads Mikkelsen, all just convening here, which I know this is not where they were originally from, But to just have this hub in the middle of Nepal and not have any like prominent Asians except Wong, who was cool but underutilized and underpowered in a sense. It's just disappointing to see. Now, I will say this differs from past whitewashings where we saw it in things like Gods of Egypt and Pan, to the point where Tilda Swinton brought something to the role. I think those past ones, you could have put anyone in there and they would have been able to do just as well. This, however, I think Tilda Swinton brought a lot to the role. I think she really acted it very, very well. She brought a certain level of prestige, a certain level of gravitas to her role, and I think she was fully invested in playing the Ancient One. For that, I have to give her props. I think her performance itself was great. I thought the Ancient One as a character in the film was fantastic. And every time the Ancient One was on screen, I loved her. I wanted more of the Ancient One. So I was able to get past the whitewashing, but still need to call attention on it. Just because this is Marvel, we cannot give them a free pass. So moving into the outright negatives of the film, again, Marvel fails to bring an impressive villain to the screen. It was a very generic villain, a very one-note villain that had, I guess, a shade of complexity, kinda, sorta. But even the big baddie, the overarching villain that was kind of behind the henchmen that we saw here on Earth, it was kind of like we were told how powerful and bad they were, but we didn't really get to see it at all. And the one sequence in which there is an appearance from said villain, it just kind of was So Marvel continues to struggle with villains. And overall, the film follows the Marvel blueprint. So if you're kind of getting sick of Marvel following the same blueprint and the tone of the Marvel films, which I know a lot of the DC fans really are getting tired of these Marvel films, I think you're going to have a bit of an adverse reaction to it. But hey, it works. It makes for a solid film, and it made for a solid film here with Doctor Strange. I think this is one of their best origin stories that they've created to date, and really, I had a blast. I think it added a whole new dimension to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm excited to see where this takes us. I'm excited to see how Doctor Strange kind of brings Scarlet Witch into the fold. Is she going to continue to just kind of serve as a telepath? Or is she going to actually be a witch moving forward? So, we'll see when all of that arises. And I'm really excited to see Doctor Strange join up with the Avengers. On a side note, Marvel changed their logo for this Doctor Strange film and conceivably everything moving forward. I think they're sick of having that same just generic Marvel logo that Fox has to use in front of the X-Men films. So I think they want to make sure you know this is a Marvel Studios production. So they changed it all. They made it very distinct from that flipping pages Marvel logo we get with the other films. So overall, I had a great time with Doctor Strange. I actually can't wait to revisit this film. I thought it was a blast. It has everything I want from a superhero movie. It was funny, great visuals. I like my superheroes to have some sort of powers, and that's what we have here. So I give Doctor Strange a full price ticket. So I hope you enjoyed my review of Doctor Strange. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Doctor Strange, or have you already seen it? And if you did, what did you think? Also, what is your favorite Marvel origin story? Let me know either in the comment section down below or hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!